Hello there, this is Kathy with Craft with Kathy. Thanks for joining me today. Tonight's project is going to be doing some farmhouse beads. I just wanted to turn off my speaker there so we don't get any echoing, and I know I'm a teeny bit early, but I'm actually a little bit anxious to get going with this. If you would be so kind as to drop me a line in the comments and let me know where you're viewing from, that would be wonderful. I'm coming at you from the suburbs west of Chicago. And then I know that I'm really live and that someone can see me, because sometimes you just never know what's going on with Facebook. So I want to talk about a couple different things, and as I go through doing these beads, I'm going to be doing them in a sage, a natural, and a white. And I like doing different sizes of beads. These are 16 millimeter, which is around 3/4 of an inch, and then the white ones are larger. They're 25 millimeter. They're about an inch in diameter. And just to keep my beads from rolling around so that you can kind of see the pattern that I'm going for here, I just put down a strip of painter's tape and then stuck it down there so my beads don't quite roll around. The ones behind are all loose, so those could definitely roll around, and knowing how things go for me, I'll probably end up with them on the floor at some point tonight. Anyway, I'm going to start off by making a tassel, and I'm going to just show you how I make my tassels. This I just cut this cardboard to be about 3 1/4 inches wide, and I'm going to take this is kind of like jute, but I would say it's really more like a cotton thread. I like doing my tassels best with like a cotton yarn or something of that nature, so that it doesn't have a lot of stretch to it, where normally yarn will have a little bit of give. I don't want that, because otherwise then obviously as the string is manipulated or moved or stretched or whatever, it could loosen up and look a little funny. So I like something that's not going to stretch. So I think I'm going to wind this around here about 30 times or so, because I want a nice fluffy one. I just realized I can't count and talk at the same time. Okay, there's 30. Oh, I think that looks good. Maybe we should do 35. What the heck? You could do this to what your own taste is. And truly, normally I have my little ball of twine or yarn in something so that it doesn't roll around my table and drive me crazy. Sorry, just bumped the touch screen on my monitor. Okay, so before I remove this from the cardboard, I'm going to put a string through it and tie it up at the top. And this is going to be a rather long string. Okay, I have to kind of check that a little bit and see how long it is and see if it's adequate for what I'm going for, because I do double my string and I do knot between all my beads. You don't have to, but it's just something that I do because I don't want any chance that that string's going to break and there's going to be beads all over the place. Oh, this is probably a little bit too long. I was a little crazy here. Let me shorten this up. I'm going to go about 96 inches It's about 48 doubled, so 96 inches of string. And I might have too much, but too much is better than too little. Actually, I generally don't measure it, and I just kind of wing it. So I'm just going to loop this string underneath what I've wrapped around my cardboard. And I want to make sure I get all of them. There we go. Then I'm going to pull it up towards the top and find the center. My top string is going to actually be the string that I string the beads on. That's why it's so long. If you're not comfortable with that, make it shorter and then add on the tassel. There we go. So I've got the center. And now I'm going to do what's called a doctor's knot. It's just like a regular knot, only you just loop it twice. And I know this is kind of strange to see with this is so long, but normally this is a regular knot. I'm going to loop it one more time through there, and then I'm going to just pull these ends tight. And I know it's a little hard to work with the string so long, but there's a meaning behind my madness here. So you can see that it's looped twice. Let me move this here under the camera a little bit better. Okay, and then I'm going to tie it. Kind of try and get it towards the top, and fairly tight, a little taut, I guess. I'm not really pinching them or anything. And then I'm going to repeat it one more time. Don't be shy, say hello. Seriously. I love to chit chat as I craft. And I wanted to explain a little bit difference between my Craft with Kathie page and my Chalk with Kathie VIP group. The Craft with Kathie page is general crafts. I do a lot of Chalk Couture. I love Chalk Couture. The Chalk Couture VIP group is for people who want access to some additional things and some specials that I'm not allowed to offer in a public forum. So if you're interested in any of the bundles or things that I offer through my VIP group, comment VIP below and I will send you the link to the VIP group. Everyone is welcome except Chalk Couture designers are not allowed. Okay, so I have this tied at the top. And usually I try and bend my cardboard a little bit. I think I went with cardboard that's a little bit too thick this time around, so I'm having a little bit of time sliding off, but generally I'll bend it a little bit in the middle, and then I could slide it off a little bit easier. I didn't want you to see the ragged one that I was using. I didn't want to be embarrassed by it, but it works, so I guess I shouldn't have worried, right? Okay, let's see if I can get this off of here. There we go. And my loops, I've not cut my loop. I usually do cut my loops while it's still on there. Okay. Not thinking. Let me get this out of the way and then I will cut my loops. Okay. Yeah, I usually do cut them before I take it off the cardboard. So I'm just going to put my scissors through here and cut my loops. There we go. So I'm going to get my very long strings, keep them at the top, and then just kind of form this a little bit. And then I'm going to put my little string around the head of my tassel so it looks like a tassel, and we'll go from there. Okay. I'm going to need to trim this up a little bit, I know that. So let me take another piece of string. This one's probably about, I don't know, 6-8 inches, something like that. Whatever's long enough for you to work with. I don't like working with a real short string. And I just lay it underneath it. Decide where I'm going to bunch it up for the head of the tassel. And then I do the same thing. Let me move this up so you can see. I make a loop and then make another loop. So it's the doctor's knot. Oops. And of course I dropped it here. Let me grab it. and then I pinch it to where I want it to be. It's a little bit low. I might want this a teeny bit higher. Let me just scoot it up there. Okay. And then I flip it over. Woo! And do the same thing on the other side. Flip it over and repeat so that it looks like I have it twisted around there. And then I think I'll do it one more on the other side. There we go. Now I could take a crochet hook and kind of mix this in there or pull it through the head, whatever you feel more secure doing, or if it was a little bit longer, I could just let it hang. I'm going to straighten these out a little bit, get rid of my long string, keep it there, and just trim them up. You want a nice sharp scissors to do this. Not sure where that came from or what it is. Okay. So there we go. There's my tassel. Get this out of the way. I'm going to put keys on the opposite end. So now I have this tassel with my very long doubled string that I'm just going to make sure I have it smoothed out and that the ends are equal. I'm going to cut it right here so that they're equal. And I'm going to wrap a piece of painter's tape around the ends of my string just to make it easier to feed through the holes of my beads. And I usually try to do this as snugly as possible. Kind of roll it. I want it a couple times around so that it stays nice and sturdy for me. And I rip it off. Kind of squish it a little bit, roll it, make sure it's nice and taut. And then I'm going to trim off the edge so it's more like a point, so that it's easy to string my beads. And let's see, what do I want to start with? I want to do 3 sage beads and then a natural and then a white. But I don't know if I want to start with the white at the bottom or not. I'm going to start with the natural at the bottom. So I just string it, feed it through. I have a little tweezers here, somewhere here, in case I have to pull it through. And I want to make sure that I keep my string straight. Now I'm going to create a knot here and try and knot it as close to the bead as I can, this so that if my string does break at some point, it's only going to break at one point. All my beads are going to be trapped by my knots in between them. I really miss my fingernails. This is crazy. It feels very uncomfortable sometimes. All the hand washing and all the rest of the stuff, which I was pretty much a crazy hand washer to begin with, but my hands and my fingernails have taken a beating. Okay. I find crafting to be very relaxing, and oddly stringing the beads it's probably equivalent to basket making or something like that, seriously. It is very, once you get going with it, as long as you watch your pattern, there's not much to think about. And it is kind of like if you've ever been gardening and you just lost yourself as you're digging in the dirt or whatever. It's almost like a kind of a weird meditation. But I get that same relaxation from crafting. Very therapeutic and relaxing. Now you can see why I made this string so long, because of all the knots in between. Like I said, you don't have to put the knots in between if you don't want. It's just something that I do to make sure that it's more secure. And I like using different size beads to give it a little bit of texture. Now, as I go on with this, my end will get a little bit frayed, and I'll probably have to do another thing of painter's tape. Sometimes I have an issue, sometimes I don't. Now, like this, I just pulled when I pulled on the end to pull it through the bead, I garbled it up. Obviously, you try not to do that. And you want your knots as close to the bead hole as possible. I need to take that off and redo it. I've got it too garbled at the end. I'll try not to be in such a hurry when I snag the cord there. I feel very uncomfortable having someone watch me where I'm not being a little bit more productive. Last thing I want to do is be boring. So if you have any questions about anything, other videos, doing this farmhouse string of beads, anything, just drop them in the comments and we could chit chat or sit and chat like last night's project as I string these beads. How did I color my beads? Good question. I actually colored these beads using Chalk Couture chalk paste. And the reason I like using the chalk paste is I might put a tassel on the end. I might actually put one of our chalkable chips on the end instead with a design on it or whatever, and then I punch a hole with a crocodile. When I put an image on the chalkable chips using a small transfer, like a mini transfer, like those French country farmhouse transfers, it would be very nice if my chalk paste color matched my beads. So I decided to try painting my beads with chalk paste, and it actually works out great. You'd have to dilute it just like you would if you were painting them with anything else. You know, you use your chalk paste full strength when on a transfer, but if you're going to use it to paint with, you do dilute it with distilled water. And I put a little chalk paste in a small baggie. spritz a little distilled water in it. Whoops, there goes my water. Mush it up, throw my beads in there, roll them around, obviously Ziploc it closed, roll them around until they're all coated, and then take them out and dry them. Now I was putting them on skewers, and I noticed somebody had suggested putting them on pipe cleaners. Tried the pipe cleaners, and it is much quicker, much easier. It works great. So the nice thing about that, I've got an exact color match, and it's quick and easy to do. It's sure better than painting them one by one. I used to, when I first started, I used to paint them individually. Okay, my knot's a little crooked here. Let me fix this. There we go. Just want to make sure I'm keeping track of my pattern here. So it's really nice to be able to do them with the chalk paste because you get an exact color match, and it dries quicker. I have tried them with ink because I know some people use our ink, but from what I find is it takes a long time for the ink to dry, whereas chalk paste, being made from actual chalk, dries pretty quickly. The ink takes a long time and they're a little tacky, so I really didn't like the ink. I like the chalk paste. So it's nice and easy. Looks like I've got a little piece of wood in here. I actually prefer my beads to be wood. I know some of them are synthetic, and I don't like the synthetic, as they don't seem to take the color as well. Now this is very similar to the hygge drawer pulls that I've made, and I'm pretty sure I did a little video on that tutorial. Hygge is a Danish word that symbolizes coziness and comfort, and basically the drawer pulls they're short, they're not very long, probably about 5 beads, with a little crocheted loop on the end. There, you could just put over a drawer, a kitchen drawer handle, or a doorknob, or a bedroom drawer, dresser drawer, just something that's subtle and pretty and just adds a little bit of that little extra to make you see the beauty in it and to kind of enhance your surroundings. Just a little extra little touch of something. If you'd like to participate in any of my live tutorials, please come visit me over on my Craft with Kathie page on Facebook. It's Craft with Kathie, Kathie spelled Kathie. I'd love to see you there. And if you'd like to be privy to any of the specials that I offer my VIP group, comment VIP either here or on the Facebook page, and I'll send you a link to the group. Every now and then I run across a bead that doesn't have the hole properly in it, or a cracked one or whatever, and I just kind of toss them on the side. Have you done anything with beading? I've got a bunch of half beads that I want to put on a tray as like the trim work. One of these days I'm looking for the right project for it. I've got something in my mind's eye, but I haven't decided what I want to actually put on it. Oh, this one's, oh, oops, I just pulled it back out. Let's see if I can grab it from inside. Normally I have a little craft tweezers, and I don't know where I put them. And yes, I'm still working on that craft room. Not done. Haven't actually touched it in a while. So I can't even say I'm working on it. Just been busy with other things. So every time I need something that I don't use frequently, it's been a little bit of a challenge. It's a small room to start with, and there's already a lot in it. So to move things around and get it organized in the way I want has been a challenge. See why I went for such a long string, the 96 inches. I mean, it's doubled, so we're really only looking at 4 feet. But between the knots and everything else, it's going to be a lot shorter than 4 feet. You always want to have enough. You don't want to run out and have to be tying your strings together. That's no fun. About 2 weeks ago, I did a series of patriotic things, and it was difficult. I had so many ideas running through my mind that it was difficult to decide what I wanted to show. And at the time I thought, okay, well, you know what, Memorial Day's coming up, that's fine. I'll just do a week of the patriotic theme things. And then before the 4th, I'll just pick up a couple other things that I didn't show and go with them. And it's been terrible. I absolutely love our wood cutout stars, and I've been coming up with more and more ideas. I think the consensus is everybody loves the cutout stars. They're nice and substantial. They're 3/4 inch thick. They're perfect little shelf sitters. They stand on their own. They're just absolutely adorable. And they come in 3 sizes, and they perfectly match our star cutout transfer. So it is a blast working with them and coming up with all different ideas. They're truly impressive. So obviously you can make this as long as you want. It really would depend upon how long your string is. I want to make this a little bit longer, not too much longer. I'm trying to think where I want to end it off. But I'll measure it and let you know what the length is compared to what my string was when I started. Oops, I need another one of these natural beads. I didn't have room to lay them all out on the table, so some of them are still in their bags. I suppose I don't have to end with what I started with. I might end just with the 3 green, the 3 sage. It's nice and subtle. I think the color palette here lends itself to the hygge in that it's subtle and it's there, but it doesn't jump out at you. It's not garish, it's not flashy. Yeah, this one's going to be a problem. That hole on this bead is a little crooked. Let me try a different one. Oh, this looks nice and big. That's easy. Yeah, I think I'm going to end up with the 3 sage. I think this will be long enough at that point. Before everyone falls asleep on me. I suppose this is something that you could sit there and do while you're watching TV. Especially if you have all your beads in order, so you don't have to really pay attention to what color you're stringing. Okay, with the tassel, we're almost at 24 inches. So I think I'm going to add the 3 greens and end it there, the 3 sage beads. Have you heard about Chalk Couture? It's our monthly subscription package. It includes 1 8.5 by 11 transfer, 3 individual paste packets, and free shipping. It's $19.99 a month in the US. It's delivered once a month, and it gives you an hour or so of relaxation and creativity. Make the project as spec'd in the PDF or in the video, or put your own spin on it. It's up to you. Lots of fun. Now this you could drape around a bottle, or just loop it on a tray, or put it on a tier tray, have part of it hang over. Really depends what you're looking for, what kind of look you want. Additional features of Chalk Couture is that the company provides a flat rate shipping of $4.95 for any Chalk Couture members, and most months there's some kind of special. I also offer specials to my club members, including a Zoom meeting once a month where we do 3 out-of-the-box projects. If you're interested, comment club below. So bead-wise, we're at 20 inches. I think this is fine for draping. And I just wanted to add a little key to it. Let's see if I can get this through here. I might have to do a little bit more trimming of it. Actually, I'm not going to tie it like that. I'm going to use the doctor's knot. Let me take off my piece of painter's tape. Oops. And remember, it's just like a regular knot. You do the loop twice. So through the hole, through the loop, and then once again. And then I would do that twice. There we go. And then, kind of reminiscent of the tassel we've got there, I might just do this here and might just unravel these. Let's see what I can do with unraveling them. Just pull them apart, individual threads, or you could actually use a comb, which would pull it apart better. But there you go, our farmhouse beads. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, drop them in the comment box and I will get back to you. See you soon.